Before start this video, please subscribe my channel and click on bell icon. Thanks.
Hey there, movie buffs and music lovers alike. We all know that feeling when a film's soundtrack gets under our skin and transports us to a new dimension. From the groovy tunes that make us want to dance in our seats to the epic orchestral arrangements that give us goosebumps, the greatest movie soundtracks have rocked our world and left a lasting impression. So grab your popcorn, turn up the volume, and get ready to dive into the magical realm where movies and music collide. Here are the top 10 greatest movie soundtracks of all time. Related, 10 iconic movie soundtracks that defined a genre. 10 The Sound of Music. The Sound of Music soundtrack. 1. Prelude / The Sound of Music. Alright, folks, let's talk about the ultimate feel-good soundtrack that has captured the hearts of generations. I'm talking about The Sound of Music. This masterpiece has all the ingredients that make it one of the greatest soundtracks of all time, and here's why. It's got everything, from the uplifting do-re-mi that teaches us the basics of music while putting a smile on our faces, to the heartwarming ballad Edelweiss that never fails to tug at our heartstrings. Who can resist singing along to My Favorite Things when Maria starts listing all those awesome random stuff? It's pure joy, my friends. But it's not just the catchy tunes that make the Sound of Music soundtrack exceptional. It's also how the music perfectly complements the story and enhances the emotions. When you hear Climb Every Mountain as the Von Trapp family faces their fears and embraces their dreams, you can't help but feel inspired and motivated to conquer your own mountains. The Lion King OST, 01, Circle of Life. Take a walk on the wild side and learn why the Lion King soundtrack reigns supreme as the king of all soundtracks. We've got to give props to Elton John for delivering some seriously unforgettable hits. Who can resist belting out Circle of Life at the top of their lungs? That opening chant gives you chills, and then it bursts into an epic explosion of African rhythms and powerful vocals that transport you straight into the heart of the animal kingdom. And don't even get me started on Can You Feel the Love Tonight? It's the ultimate romantic jam that makes you want to serenade your sweetheart under a starry sky, even if you can't carry a tune. It's no wonder that Elton John's tunes won Academy Awards and Grammy Awards, leaving us with songs that have stood the test of time. We've also got to give a shout out to Hans Zimmer for his incredible score. The instrumental pieces in this soundtrack take us on an emotional roller coaster that perfectly captures the story's spirit. From the triumphant and powerful King of Pride rock that gives you goosebumps as Simba reclaims his rightful place, to the hauntingly beautiful This Land that brings tears to your eyes, Zimmer's compositions are pure cinematic gold. 8 Star Wars A New Hope full soundtrack. My fellow Jedi and Sith enthusiasts, let's jump to hyperspace and explore why the Star Wars soundtrack deserves a standing ovation as the ultimate musical force in the galaxy. We owe a massive shout-out to the legendary maestro, John Williams. The opening credits score is like an instant adrenaline rush that tells us we're about to embark on an epic space adventure. And let's not forget about the Imperial March, the ultimate anthem for all villains. Darth Vader, we're looking at you. Every time that dark and imposing theme kicks in, we can't help but feel a shiver down our spines. Williams has crafted a symphonic masterpiece that has become as iconic as the films themselves. It's not just the main themes that make the Star Wars soundtrack extraordinary. Williams's attention to detail and ability to match music to specific scenes is nothing short of genius. From the exhilarating dogfights in space to the emotional duels with lightsabers, the music elevates every moment, intensifying the drama and immersing us deeper into the story. 7. Forrest Gump the soundtrack. Various artists run like Forrest Gump, and let's talk about why the Forrest Gump soundtrack is hands down the greatest soundtrack to ever grace our ears. This soundtrack is like a time capsule of musical awesomeness. It takes us on a journey through decades of iconic tunes, perfectly capturing the spirit of each era. From the infectious sounds of Elvis Presley's Hound Dog that make you want to shake your hips to the groovy beats of Creedence Clearwater Revival's Fortunate Son that instantly transport you to the Vietnam War era, every song is a nostalgia-packed gem. And how can we forget the soulful voice of Aretha Franklin in Respect? It's the ultimate anthem for empowerment that makes you want to stand up and demand your well-deserved respect. With an eclectic mix of rock and roll, folk, soul, and more, this soundtrack is a jukebox of pure musical bliss. The music seamlessly weaves into the story, enhancing the emotional impact of each scene. When we hear Simon Garfunkel's Mrs. Robinson playing as Forrest runs across America, it captures the spirit of freedom and adventure that defines his journey. And who can forget the heartfelt rendition of Sweet Home Alabama accompanying Forrest's homecoming? It's a moment that fills us with warmth and nostalgia for the places and people we hold dear. 6. Purple Rain. We've got to start by giving props to the one and only Prince. This dude was a musical genius, and the Purple Rain soundtrack is a testament to his incredible talent. With his electrifying blend of funk, rock, and pop, Prince created a sonic masterpiece that still sends shockwaves through our speakers. Just listen to the title track, Purple Rain, and you'll understand why it's an anthem for the ages. It's got that killer guitar solo, those soulful vocals, and raw energy that brings us on our feet every single time. The infectious groove of Let's Go Crazy makes us want to dance like there's no tomorrow. Purple Rain weaves its music into the film's fabric, enhancing the narrative and drawing us deeper into the world of its characters. When we hear the vulnerable and haunting When Doves Cry, it perfectly captures the turmoil and heartache of Prince's character. It's a song that touches our souls and makes us feel the raw emotions pouring out of the screen. 5. Saturday Night Fever Saturday Night Fever soundtrack full album. Put on your disco shoes and boogie down as we discuss why the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack epitomizes musical awesomeness. This soundtrack is like a time machine that transports us to the groovy era of the 70s, with the Bee Gees leading the charge. Who can resist the catchy beats and falsetto vocals of Stayin' Alive? It's the ultimate anthem that makes you want to strut down the street like John Travolta in his white suit. And let's not forget Night Fever, a disco fever dream that gets us up and dancing like there's no tomorrow. The Bee Gees' music is infectious, uplifting, and undeniably groovy, and this soundtrack captures their magic perfectly. We've also got a killer lineup of artists like KC and the Sunshine Band, Tavares, and Yvonne Elliman delivering hit after hit. From the funky vibes of boogie shoes that make us want to shake our hips uncontrollably to the smooth and sultry If I Can't Have You, each track adds its own flavor to the disco extravaganza. For Dirty Dancing Stay, soundtrack AUS Dem film Dirty Dancing is an iconic soundtrack that is a total game-changer for capturing the spirit of the 80s and the magic of summer love. From the first notes of I've Had the Time of My Life, you know you're in for a treat. This classic ballad brings all the feels and returns us to that unforgettable lift scene with Baby and Johnny. It's a song that makes us believe in the power of love and dance. Let's not forget the infectious beats of Hungry Eyes and She's Like the Wind. These tracks make us want to sway, twirl, and feel the rhythm pulsing through our veins. The Dirty Dancing soundtrack is a treasure trove of nostalgic hits that will have you singing and dancing along in no time. But it's not just the big hits that make this soundtrack a winner. The lesser-known gems like Love Is Strange and Cry to Me bring a touch of soul and authenticity. These tracks transport us to those steamy, intimate dance moments that define the film. They capture the characters' chemistry and passion, making us want to grab a partner and recreate those iconic dance moves. 3. Pulp Fiction 1994, music from the motion picture, full OST dive into the world of Tarantino and why the Pulp Fiction soundtrack is the coolest, most badass soundtrack of all time. Tarantino has always been a master at handpicking killer tunes to amplify his films, and Pulp Fiction is no exception. From the iconic surf rock vibes of Misirlou that kick off the movie in style to the bluesy grooves of Son of a Preacher Man that ooze with retro coolness, this soundtrack is a masterclass in curating the perfect mix of songs. It's like stepping into a jukebox of musical brilliance, with each track adding its own flavor to the film's stylish and offbeat atmosphere. And let's not forget the righteous blast of adrenaline that is Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon. It's the epitome of retro coolness that'll have you strutting down the street like Vincent Vega himself. What truly sets the Pulp Fiction soundtrack apart is how the music becomes an integral part of the storytelling. It's not just background noise, it's a character in its own right. Each song is carefully placed to enhance the film's narrative and create unforgettable cinematic moments. The Bodyguard Whitney Houston, The Bodyguard, full album 1992 YouTube. The Bodyguard soundtrack is an absolute powerhouse led by the one and only Whitney Houston. I mean, come on, when Whitney's angelic voice braces our ears in I Will Always Love You, it's like a spiritual experience. Her breathtaking vocals send chills down our spines and make us feel every ounce of emotion. Catchy tunes like I Have Nothing and Run to You showcase Whitney's incredible range and leave us in awe of her talent. Every song on this soundtrack is a powerhouse of soul-stirring vocals and timeless melodies that have solidified Whitney Houston's place in music history. It's not just about Whitney's mesmerizing performances. The Bodyguard soundtrack is a collection of musical perfection. From the smooth R&B grooves of Queen of the Night to the heartfelt balladry of Someday, I'm Coming Back, it's a journey through a range of emotions. One Titanic 1997, full official soundtrack sets sail on a musical journey as we dive into why the Titanic soundtrack is an absolute masterpiece. James Horner's composition takes us on an emotional roller coaster that perfectly captures the grandeur and tragedy of the iconic love story. Let's be real, when that haunting flute melody of "My Heart Will Go On" starts playing, it's like a direct line to our tear ducts. It's a song that has made us ugly cry and sing our hearts out in the shower, proving that it has the power to touch our souls. Other instrumental pieces like Rose and Southampton transport us to the ill-fated voyage's luxury and heartache. Thanks for watching. Credits to listverse.com. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.